Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Friday has finally made it for everybody like Brandon Como, who looks forward to every Friday, no matter what's happening.
Would you not look forward to Friday when looking out right now and seeing about 20 different things of food out there?
Yeah, that was sinful what they brought in here.
Oh, man. Thank you to Don's Boudin. Let's see. Is that
Dino's
Pizza?
Who's Chris Reed's
Chris
wife?
Reed's wife, Morgan, with the cupcakes.
She brought cupcakes, and we found out that Chris Reed's wife is pregnant, but we're not going to say that on the air.
Oh, Moon. Oh, man, of course. Well, if you didn't want that getting out yet, Morgan, sorry.
She did? Oh, I'm sorry. She's not pregnant. I was joking.
Man.
Oh, she going to kill me when she sees me. What the heck? Everybody's going to kill me when they see me. That's why we do radio. You can't see me. Anyway, great to have you with us. 844.
The least we can do is name her business, Piece of Cake.
Piece of Cake. Well, Guess what? She brought some bunch of, what did she bring? The cupcakes.
Yes, Piece of Cake here in
Lafayette. I just couldn't go that direction, but I'm going to take your word for it since you ate everything that was on the menu
Moon,
today.
I had to sample everything out there, including the cupcakes. That was some delicious chocolate, man.
Brandon comes over here. I go over there and get a little plate of some. I did try the seafood boudin, which was delicious, and I ate a few hall crackers. Brandon comes back. He got hall crackers, seafood boudin, regular boudin, cupcake, hall crack. What else was it? Pizza. And so you go, and so my little bitty plate got a little bit on it. Brandon comes in here with 4 plates. He's trying to juggle.
All right, let's shed more light on this though. See, Moon is a nibbler. Moon will go and grab a little bit, and then he'll go and grab a little bit somewhere else. He was literally following into another studio that Moon doesn't even work in,
well,
so he can get some shrimp from Edie's.
Edie's restaurant selling fried fish and fried shrimp at breakfast. Now, who ever heard of that?
Moon's following Debbie right behind, just trailing right behind so he can grab food. I get it all in one fell swoop.
I know, but I like
you nibble.
I like to make sure the food's good before it goes out. I'm just one of those guys that would.
He'll go walk into the dog studio down the hall and go get the boudin before everybody else gets some.
Here's what Brandon doesn't tell y'all. They all love me down there, so they all let me because they won't let him in.
That's why I hear nothing but insults when you walk into the dog studio, huh?
Insults wherever I go. I eat them up anyway. We have a lot of fun today, folks. It is Friday, and I want you to have a happy day and a good weekend. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on, some stuff coming through the legislature. We're going to talk about that today, a little bit of national stuff. I think it's hilarious at the expansion of gambling that we got going on. And we're not expanding gambling. It's like Rob Shadow. I hate raising taxes, you know. Rob Shadow is a great, great example of what a politician or what an elected official, somebody you do not vote for. You just run away from a person like that. You don't even make him one vote that way. If you do, then you got the problem. It's called the guy you just voted for. It's just amazing to continue to watch. By the way, there's a couple big stories out there today. Wall Street Journal wrote a report. Okay, top 20% of Americans will pay 87% of income taxes. Households with 150,000 more income make up 52% total income nationally, but pay large portions of the total taxes. So when I hear people, there are people that think people that make $150,000 are rich, and they're not rich. They're not even close to rich. Man, you throw in 4 kids or 3 kids in school and everything else, you are far, far, far from being a rich person. But yet you got to pull the wagon, and they let all the people that get, jump up on the wagon. The people that jump on the wagon are hollering, pull harder, pull harder. 87% income taxes. And then, so who pays, they pay their share of sales tax. They probably have a bigger house, so they pay more property taxes. Probably have a bigger vehicle, they pay more vehicle. They probably drive more. We pound into people that are doing well in this country. 87%. 87% income taxes. Paid by the top 20%. But you got to remember, though, the bottom 30, 40% don't hardly pay any taxes. They just don't. And those are the ones the left is targeted with for a long time. It's just amazing to continue to watch. Traffic cameras. I never liked the traffic camera, folks. I have never liked a traffic camera. I would never like a traffic camera. Traffic cameras, WWL is reporting in New Orleans, they issued speeding tickets to parked cars. There's some people that have gotten dozens of tickets, and their cars were parked. I told you, if it's a racket, it's a racket. And speeding, speed light, red light cameras, whatever, is 100% a money racket. It's nothing to do with safety. Not a thing to do with safety. Has never been to do with safety. It's always been about money. Traffic cameras are about moolah. And it's always been about moolah. When you have people, one guy said he's got 11 tickets, and he proved that his car was parked. Brandon, it's a racket. You get one in the mail, it's a racket. And it's a money maker, and it's been a money maker for some of the local governments. It's not been nothing about safety. It was never about safety. It's never going to be about safety. He says, one guy said, I legally parked in front of my house, and yet I got 11 citations. Brandon, can you imagine y'all get a ticket because your wife's car is parked in a parking spot? I'm sure at your house everybody has a parking spot. We do. Usually the woman parks here, the man parks. In my case, my wife parks in the garage, and my boat parks in the garage. I got my priorities straight, and my truck stays outside. So if I ever get a speeding ticket for parking in my own garage, I might be a little upset. Somebody made the comment from the New Orleans Police Department. Whoever is responsible for reviewing these violations is not doing their job. You think? I mean, can you imagine getting parking? You get a ticket for being parked in your own driveway legally? That's when you know this stuff is a scam. And just little things like that proves it is a big scam. Scam among scams. And that's exactly what it is. It's just one big scam. So, anyway, I just thought y'all would get a kick out of that. I know in Lafayette, Brandon, we don't have red light cameras right now, but I believe they're coming back.
Well, what they're doing is they were talking about it at the Lafayette City Parish Council and talking about bringing back the cameras in the school districts.
That's it?
Well, as we talked about earlier, Moon.
Oh, no. That's where they start back.
That's where they start
back. They
back.
ease them back, and they say, we need them over here, we need them over there.
Yes.
I wonder if anybody's taken a report how many wrecks were taking place before cameras. How many wrecks were taking place after the cameras? I mean, when the cameras are gone, and then how many wrecks take place if they bring the cameras back? I'm just telling you, when you could take a camera and give somebody a speeding ticket for parking in their own driveway, that is a screwed up system to have in your deal. I'm not big on them. The reason I'm not big on them, it goes to what I'm talking about with gambling, which I don't think we ought to expand. We're expanding the heck out of it. Is we're not expanding gambling, although we're expanding gambling. So what they tell us about red light cameras is that it's not to make money, it's for the safety of our citizens, which, once again, just outright lie. Why don't they just say, look, we need the money to pay our police officers. We need the money to pay our deputies. That's what and be honest. We need the money because we broke everywhere else. Just be honest about the red light cameras and let the people vote on them. If they vote to have red light cameras and they want to tax themselves, then I'll pay them. I paid every one of them. God knows I got enough of them. Somebody asked me, well, you're getting these red light cameras, these tickets, aren't you slowing down? I said, well, I figure out where to go where there's not one, and then a little van pops up. And moved the little van down a road that I didn't think they had a red light camera on it. Why don't you just slow down? I have slowed down. It has not been that big a deal, except the fine that I have to pay. Most of mine have been $25. I did get one in one area I didn't pay from out of this area. They wanted $189 for it. So they sent it to a collection agency. And I just kindly sent a letter back, quit killing trees and sending me a bill for something I'm not going to pay. And you know what? Never got the bill again. I never got the bill again. Some people don't pay them here. I paid all mine here. I just, out of respect, I just paid them. I didn't want to hear all that, so I paid them. That's about 8 of them, maybe 9, 10, 11, something like that. 12, whatever it was, I paid them. And I hope they never come back here. I don't care if it's in school zones or not. By the way, I've gotten a school zone. I got one school zone ticket in my life. And I caught myself just about 20 feet inside too late to slow down. All right, a lot of TOPS bills are coming out of the legislature as well. We're going to get to that as the program unfolds. Brandon, I don't think that thing works yet. Okay. The House rejected to let colleges raise their tuition. They're freaking out on that. But how about this idea? Somebody threw it out there. Mark Ballard wrote a piece on it. How about the solution? Tax those who don't vote. So if we got an election and you don't go vote, you will get a tax bill in the mail.
How can you tax somebody for not voting?
You can't, Brandon. They were doing it as a joke.
Oh, I was going to say.
But I just started thinking, what's wrong with that? It's something wrong with it.
There's a lot wrong with that.
I don't know, Brandon. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just going out there. I mean, people talk about they want to live in our society. I'd rather have less people vote. I'd rather have a lot of less people vote and more informed voters go to the poll. Oh, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Yes, they were joking yesterday. Fiscal cliff solution, tax for those who don't vote, raised jokingly in the Louisiana House Committee. That doesn't have any merit, Brandon. I promise you it's not going anywhere. But I just thought it was funny.
Moon, I wouldn't make that promise.
I tell you what I'd bet you. I bet you right now. I bet you the turnout wouldn't be any better. I bet the turnout wouldn't be any different. It wouldn't. Brandon, you got people that are required to go buy health care that don't buy it. You got people that are required to go buy automobile insurance. They don't buy it. Why do you think they don't vote? A lot of these people wouldn't even know there were elections. Really, I'm not being ugly. Go look at voter turnout. Presidential elections, about 65 to 67%. The average governor's election is about 40%. Just looking at recent elections. The average governor's election is about 40%. And the average election, if you take all that off, is probably somewhere between 10 and 17%. You know, people don't want to go vote. People are tired of voting. I don't know if we got too many elections or what. I just think it's apathy and people just don't care anymore. They don't feel people. There are people that you have to go buy to go vote. Those people ought to never vote. They really ought to not vote. They really don't want to vote. They could care less about voting. But there's a machine out there on the left, and they go out there and they buy the votes, and they get the votes out. They pump people up, and they use terms to get them out. But on the flip side, on the other side, you got people, middle and upper income, and people that make a good living. Some of them even own businesses. They don't really care either. They're more interested in what they're doing. That's why people that we elect go to Baton Rouge or go to Washington, D.C., and they pretty much do what they want to do. The problem with Washington, D.C. now is it becomes so much politics. We don't care about the Constitution. We don't care about the truth. We just care about what party's in charge. One party has fallen plumb off the cliff.
Griffon Show, what's your name?
Yeah, fallen plumb off the cliff. The liberals are not liberals. They're socialists and Marxists now. Democrat Party's fallen. The Republicans are so wimpy, so weak, bunch of wusses, will not do what they need to do to make things better. So, you don't win either way. That's why nothing really changes. Nothing changes in Baton Rouge either. And it's amazing to continue to watch. And so when you say we'll tax people, charge them a tax if they don't go vote, then, what's the problem? About 58% of the nation's registered voters cast ballots in 2016 presidential election. 58%. 2012 election, 53% voted. The whole country. France, by comparison, had a 71% turnout. Sweden is butting up to 83%. Brazil, which allows 16-year-olds to cast ballots, and Australia, which fines non-voters $20. Randy, you heard that? $20. Hovers near 80% turnout. Now, they require people to vote or they tax them. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. Shadwan says, well, it would increase voter turnout. Yeah, Shadwan, I bet he'd hate voting for that tax too, right, Brandon?
Moon. If they put that out there as a joke, they still may have been putting that out there as a feeler. Is it likely now to pass? No. Doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. Who thought we were going to have gun confiscation in Deerfield, Illinois? But look at what's happening right now.
I know, but I'm just telling you, this right here, I am on a totally opposite side, not of you, Brandon, of this, and the fact that I think we need less people voting, but more informed people, and I think we'll make better decisions. Why would you want less people to vote? Because we got a lot of people that are being paid to vote. We got a lot of people that don't care about voting. We're registering them at every office known to mankind, and they don't want to vote. If a person's not willing to go to registrar's office and register themselves, if a person will not go to registrar's office and register themselves, why should they vote? You register because you do your driver's license. You register because you go to welfare office, Social Security. All that stuff ought to be wiped out. Every bit of it should be wiped out. I think you just had it in your hand, Brian. Yeah, I thought so. All right, take a call before we take a break. Brian in Monroe, how you doing, Brian?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fine, sir.
Hey, I heard what you're talking about with the voting, and that's an interesting concept about the fining. I live up here in Monroe, and I live in West Monroe. Anyway, they voted for mayor here shortly a while back, and Mr. Norris didn't make it this time. But it almost seems like, I don't know if it's a law or whatever, but when you're going to vote that day, there's nothing on the news to tell you about it, to remind you. It seems almost like they don't want people to vote, because if there's not that many people to vote, if you've got your folks out there voting for you or whatever, that you'll probably have a better chance. I don't know. I don't know if it's a law in Louisiana or not, but it just seems like they don't want, they don't advertise to go vote.
Well, y'all what was the percentage of turnout in the mayor's race?
Oh, I don't know the percentage. I know when Miss Albritton won, and she had like 1,700 votes, and then I think Mayor Norris had 700 votes, and then this other lady was running had like 22, and then Tyrone he had 21 votes.
But you don't remember.
And then
you don't remember what the percentage was?
No, and it's kind of screwy in one aspect, because we live in West Monroe, but not in the city limits, and you had to be in the city limits to be able to vote. And I'm surprised that they don't make the city limits bigger, so they could bring in, I would think, probably more tax money or more people to vote.
All right, got to run. Appreciate the call. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Yeah, I'm a little different on the voter thing. I'm ready for informed voters to go vote. I'm ready to get rid of all this gimmicks and gadgets on. We don't have more people go vote if we could just register them all. That's all a ploy to get people on election day, go bust them to the polls. People don't really want to vote, folks. If they wanted to vote, you would not have to bust anybody to a poll. By the way, they just said the West Monroe race for mayor, which is their biggest position, Brandon, 30% turnout, which I'm kind of shocked it was that high, to be honest with you. Kind of shocked it was that high. Oh, by the way, Brandon, we do want to mention who's the gentleman we're going to have on from the hospital, the Lafayette General Health
David
President.
Calicod.
David Calicod is going to join us. He's the president. He wants to come talk about a little bit about the contract they did with the state of Louisiana. Let us know more about it. And I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Okay. Looking forward to hopefully we have him a whole hour. And we'll put him on there and talk about what's going on. As you know, they're one of the ones that basically gave a threat. They don't get the funding, they're gone. On my side, we've always said this was coming. This was coming, and, it's here. And what I don't like is the fact that when we get to funding, we always hear about how we not only pulling out, or we're going to have to put poor people out on the streets, we're going to have to put people with dialysis out on the street. I've been watching this game for a long time. That was my frustration, what it still is. I'm hoping he can clarify some things for me and let us know what's going on, because it looks like to me, and can they get out of the contract by just saying we're gone? And if they can get out, and I was always under the understanding they can walk away from it. I mean, you don't send a letter to the governor saying we're walking away if we don't get the funding unless you can. So it was my understanding they could do that. And if they can do that, I don't care what anybody tells me. That was a bad contract for the state of Louisiana if a company can just walk away. And how much funding do we actually give the hospitals? Another great question. And I'm sure he can answer all this. And I'm really looking forward to getting some answers to the questions that I have. And some of you folks may have some. We'll let you be included as well. So really looking forward to that. That will be next Tuesday at 9:06 when we first come on. And Brandon, they did say they're going to come by in the studio. Huh?
Oh yeah,
great. Because I do
they're
want
right
to
down the road from us.
Well, I do want to get to meet him and get to know him, and so that's a great deal. And we'll get a chance to discuss it. I'm hoping we all learn something from the conversation. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, that is going to be on Tuesday. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. All right, 3 TOPS bills got out of committee. First one, by the liberal Barry Ivey, Republican, sponsored a bill that would increase eligibility requirements for TOPS. It was House Bill 413. Basically, you qualify with a 2.5 and a 20 on the ACT. I want to raise it to 2.75 with a 21 on the ACT. Now, Brand, there's going to be a lot of people upset with this, Brand, because, and this is why, and this is a good argument to make against it. Okay, and there are people listening to my program with this, where I ought to go just to everybody making the 3.5 and up or 3 point. I can understand that, but there are kids that don't do as well in school, that have really bust their butts to do well, that can go to college and and get a degree and learn, get a degree and really go on and make themselves, a great living one day and provide for their family. And so the angle that's against this is why not have just a balanced deal to qualify? Most people look at scholarships as you need to make a 3 or 3.5. I understand that, but that's not what this was designed to do. It was never designed just, if you want to take the best and brightest, and you realize, Brandon, we got scholarships for that? Go make a 30 or 32, 33 on your ACT. You'd never pay a penny to go to school. So anyway, that's the argument against it. As a matter of fact, James Collier, who is the director of the Patrick F. Taylor Foundation, which is where they got TOPS from, he doesn't want to change the grade point average or the ACT. Okay, he doesn't want to change it at all. Once again, if you're against TOPS, I understand that. Like I'm already saying I don't care anymore. It's a political football. That's the first one. The second one, I think Ivy had as well, was House Bill 414, is to raise the minimum GPA requirements for maintaining TOPS. So once you got TOPS, Brandon, you had to make a 2.3. Now you got to make a 2.5. Then after so many years, you got to make a 2.75. So anyway, they're upping that. That is the second deal they want to do. And the third deal they want to do, which is something I think a lot of people would be for, and I've talked about it, they want to, in House Bill 161, to require students to repay TOPS award amount if they drop out or fail to meet requirements for the maintaining eligibility. So in other words, if you don't stick with your TOPS scholarship all the way through, you have to pay it back, basically, or pay back a percentage of it. Data provided us, he found 5,726 students cancel their TOPS award each school year over a 5-year average, which is 12% of the 49,276 5-year average of recipients. So their claim is it's unfair to take the scholarship. One guy said it's unfair to take the scholarship and go party and have a good time and then flunk out. So, and I'm not against that. If you take the scholarship and you flunk out, they want to enforce the rules to set up a repayment process. Here's the problem with that, Brandon. You know, there's a lot of people not paying back student loans now. And what it becomes is basically it's going to be set up as a student loan. You don't pay it back if you graduate. You pay it back if you don't. If you drop out, you got to pay it back. If you can't maintain the standards, you got to pay it back. Now, what they may do, that may force some people that go, I don't know if I want to go to college or not. It may force them to re-look at this and maybe go another route. There's another bill that I saw that basically says every TOPS scholarship must start off going to a community college. Ivy says every TOPS recipient will be prepared for the first year, will not be prepared. So he thinks a lot of them ought to start technical schools and community colleges. So anyway, that's the argument. That's what they're doing with TOPS. Folks, you should have known when they created this. Anytime you do something, you create that the government's paying for, then the government has the possibility of changing what they promised. I don't care if you believe in TOPS or not. I don't care if you think TOPS ought to go away or not. Okay? Once they start a program that they decide what money goes out, they will decide everything. It's like we tell people all the time that if you're dependent on government to give you your prosperity, then count on government to take it away too. Because they are so out of whack when it comes to spending from local, state, and federal government. It's not even close. There's not many places you can name that'll go, hey, we got a responsible government here. Not many at all. I'm not going to say any, but not many. So anyway, there's your changes in TOPS. One of them wants to start next year. So if you take a top scholarship, bingo, you better make sure you stick with the program. Because not only will you not get your degree, probably go to work, you're going to have to start paying back on a scholarship, whatever it's worth, whatever that was worth for that semester. So I'm just telling you what they're doing. They're trying to work on TOPS, and the bottom line is we don't have enough money for anything. We don't have enough money for TOPS, and that's the problem. If you had plenty of money coming in, they wouldn't even be talking about this. But they don't have plenty of money coming in. And when I say they don't, they really have more money than they need, more money than our economy can produce, but they don't want to change anything. Bell Edwards and Jay Darden, the co-governorship is not working. It's proven to be a failure, and it's a gigantic failure because they're not changing anything. They just want more revenue. Is that not amazing? They want more revenue. They don't want to change anything. So that means they want to keep status quo every single thing we're doing. Just give them more money to make it better. And it's not going to work that way. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. We'll take a break. Got an open line for you, and it's open forum Friday. I forgot to say that. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. I know there was a bill dealing with jury decisions that's really big, and I think we're going to get a change there. Hoping to hear from Mr. Ed Tarpley soon. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, and if you want to just eat some great food for lunch or supper tonight, I'd go to Shucks if I was you. You might even see me there. Shucks, just a great place to eat and a great place to have a good time. David and Bird do a wonderful job. Folks, the shrimp, I mean, right there, everything's just right there off the coast. All of it's fresh. Some of the best oysters you ever put in your mouth. If you like char grilled or you like them raw, they can get you taken care of. They really, really know what they're doing. The atmosphere there, it really is a neat, casual atmosphere. Whether you're eating or you're outside waiting on the food, it's such a great place where friends gather, families gather, they have fun, they laugh, they sit out there and have a good time. Pretty soon you're sitting down eating and you go, wow, what an experience. From the time I got there to the time I left, we had fun. And Shucks is a happening. It's always been like that. But I don't care if you want etouffee or a great seafood gumbo, or maybe you want redfish on a half shell, stuffed flounder. Brandon's eating that. He knows that's so good. Shucks is the place to go check them out. And they're right there located in Abbeville, Louisiana. If you go to the end of 167, you're going to run right into it almost. It's right there straight across on the right-hand side. You can't miss it. Shucks. It's a happening. Good time for all. If you got a baseball team, a soccer team, or something playing, travel, whatever, and you're coming into town, call them. Tell them you got a big group. They will get you taken care of. All right, people, my phone's going off. You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. Well, the guy that just sent that to me, he's been invited to fish and go to Shucks, and he won't come. By the way, before we go back to the phone lines, it is open forum Friday. Clay Higgins. Everybody was talking about, Clay's not raising money. Congressman Clay Higgins has more than $211,000 in his campaign kitty after the first quarter of 2018, during which he collected $217,000 donations. That's an improvement from Higgins' year-ending cash on hand of $50,000, which makes it very tough for a challenger to beat him. It's going to be a low-turnout election. Also, according to this, by the way, I'm getting this from the Weekly Facts, Jeremy Alford, in case you want to know. He's put together a posse of donators: Clay Allen, Boise Bollinger, Bill Fenstermaker, Shane Guidry, Ross Little, Clay Pleasance, something like that, Keith Meyer, Kenny Smith, and Richard Zula, in addition to 52 others. So he's going to be very difficult to beat. I know that another Republican's running. I know a former Democrat judge who, by the way, her campaign is being run by Mike Stagg. So that's who's challenging him. Matter of fact, I will name the Republican, too, if I can find it here, Brandon. Do you know it already?
Josh Guillory.
That's right. Republican Joshua Guillory, constitutional family law attorney, is running as well. But I'm telling you, when you got a congressman that's raising money that really doesn't have, Brandon, he may have a bad vote. I just can't remember any of them. In a low turnout election, Clay is sitting pretty because the people that vote, we don't have anything else on the ballot. There won't be a Senate race. There won't be a statewide race like they thought they might have for Shedler's position. He's already said he's going to finish out the term and run, so they're not going to have that. If in a low turnout election, the chronic voters are the only one that will turn out. And I'm telling you, the chronic voters are older, they're whiter, they're Republicans. Clay, his base is going to be solid. So I don't know what these people are going to run at him. You know, whatever they're going to run at him, they run at him. And if they better be running something new, not the old stuff that we heard last time. So, and by the way, we hope to talk to all the candidates.
It'd be amazing to see if Clay has that much of a lead that as congressman he might win it outright in the first round.
Well, my gut feeling is he will win it right outright in the first round because I just told you who's voting. The chronic voters have voted for him last time. And those people in the outlying areas are going to go vote. So I just think I think he'll win, and I do believe he'll win in the first round. If he doesn't, Brandon, I'll be in shock. Don't let him. If he comes in with 38 or 40% in the first round, he's in trouble. So I think he wins it in the first round. But the thing about it is, people were saying, well, he's not raising any money. That's not true anymore. He is raising money, and apparently voting mostly like people want him to vote. So anyway, that's what the Jeremy Offis report. Also, Neil Raza, who has been a senator for 12 years, says he's going in the House now. Francis Thompson, who's been in the legislature for 432 years, is going back to the House. John Alario, who's been in the legislature for 562 years, he's going back to the House and run. Nobody's going to beat those guys. It's a shame. They ought to be beat like dogs. They are the problem. John Alario and Francis Thompson has called this state hell. And people keep voting for them because I guess they're buying votes. Let's go to, I know they're buying votes. They're buying because they buy these people with the projects and stuff they bring back. Michael in Lafayette. How you doing, Michael?
Doing fine, but I haven't been invited to lunch or fishing, so.
Well, you're welcome. All you got to do is tell me when.
Okay. Hey, do you know if you've got a green card, you can vote?
I don't have a green card. They gave me a white one.
No. If you're in here and you have a green card to work, you can vote in an election. I had somebody who is not a citizen, has a green card, and asked me who I was voting for in the last election. Can you vote? And he said, yeah.
But did you ask him if he's a citizen? Because you got to. It's just like I joke with you about having a white card. You better ask the people. You better ask the people a real question. You better ask them what a green card means. Miss Kathy in Horton, how you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing fine, Moon. How are you doing?
I am doing superb.
It's a good Friday, huh?
Yes, ma'am. It's good. It's a good every day. When you get older, every day is a good day.
Well, I understand. I just wanted to let you know the man that was in North Carolina that gave the impromptu, speech that you had on the radio yesterday?
Yeah, it was the black gentleman that did that. We put it on our Facebook, Friends of Moon Griffon. It's all over the place.
Right. He was on Fox this morning.
That's what I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave a little bit of his speech, just a few seconds of it. And I went to his Facebook page, and he's got a pretty good following there. And he is extremely conservative. From his Facebook page, he said he was in college, going to school to get some kind of history degree, and a very smart guy. And, I just want to say, he was on Fox, and he's probably not going to be on the other TV channels.
Oh, no, they don't want anybody with common sense. They don't want anybody pro-Second Amendment. All that stuff's out the window. The left only wants they want people to be against free speech and to be against guns.
Right. He did such a great job. He really covered the whole spectrum,
Oh, no doubt about it. But like I said, we played it yesterday. We made Brandon, pull that back up. We'll play that again so people can hear that, so people will know exactly what you're talking about, Kathy. Because really what he did was common sense. It was a young black man that was saying that, hey, the Second Amendment, we are the people. And that's what we don't understand. Government, especially the left Republicans and left Democrats, really rule against the Constitution and the will of the people all the time.
Yeah, well, thank you for playing that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, thank you very much. We'll play it again. Brian, I don't think we have time to play, do we? Tell you what, thanks, Kathy. Brandon, let's play it now. Mm-hmm. Explain who this is again, Brandon, real quick.
All right, so he was a citizen at a city council meeting in North Carolina, and so he was talking about the fact that he is a law-abiding, gun-owning citizen. And he said every time something like this happens, people want to come after them and their guns. And he said, look, I'm a part of the majority, which is true, the majority, law-abiding, gun-owning citizens. And so, yeah, he had this to say when he was speaking from the floor. And again, his name is Mark Robinson. So here we go.
I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group and domestic violence and blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens, because our rights are the ones that are being taken away. That's the reason why I came down here today. Gun show or no gun show, NRA or no NRA. I'm here to stand up for the law-abiding citizens of this community, because I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen. You can take the guns away from us all you want to. You all write a law, I follow the law, I'll bring my guns down here, I'll turn them in. But here's what's going to happen. The Crips and the Bloods on the other side of town, they're not going to turn their guns in. They're going to hold on to them. And what's going to happen when you have to send the police down there to go take them? The police can barely enforce the law as it is. As what I see, we demonize the police, criminalize and vilify the police, and we make the criminals into victims. And we're talking about restricting guns? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that when the police department's already hamstrung? You're not going to be able to go down here and take these guns from these criminals. So the criminals are going to hold on to their guns. They're still going to have them. They're still going to break in my house, and they're still going to shoot me with them. And guess who's going to be the one that suffers? It's going to be me. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, it is not going to happen without a fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean shots fired. I don't mean fist thrown. I mean I'm going to come down here to this city council and raise hell just like these loonies from the left do until you listen to the majority of the people in this city. And I am the majority. The majority of the people in this city are law-abiding. And they follow the law. And they want their constitutional right to be able to bear arms. They want to be able to go to the gun show and buy a hunting rifle or a sport rifle. There are no military-grade weapons sold at the gun show. An AR-15 is not a military-grade weapon. Anybody that would go into combat with an AR-15 is a fool. It's a semi-automatic 22 rifle. You'd be killed in 15 minutes in combat with that thing. So we need to dispel all these myths, and we need to drop all this division that we got going on here. Because the bottom line is, when that Second Amendment was written, whether the framers liked it or not, they wrote it for everybody. And I am everybody. And the law-abiding citizens of this city are everybody. And we want our rights, and we want to keep our rights. And by God, we're going to keep them, come hell or high water.
All right, folks, that's about as good as you can say it. And he's right on the money. The problem is the media grabs the side they want, and they shove that down our throat, and people start believing that crap. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. It's your opportunity to be a voice. Open Forum Friday. Let's go to the phone lines. Woody in Shreveport. How you doing, Woody?
Just fine, Moon. You appreciate the job you're doing.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a question for you. You remember a year, 2, 3 years ago that this Supreme Court justice went down in South Texas, West Texas or something, and the poor guy had so many things wrong with him, and he turned up, passed away, and nobody was interested in how he died. Don't that strike you as odd? When the election's coming up, if a Democrat gets elected, they could support nominate the Supreme Court justices. Don't you think? Isn't something odd about that? I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but I wondered about that ever since it happened. Can you help me out on that?
I'm just not as familiar with it as you are, so I can't. But look, there's probably nothing wrong with having conspiracies from time to time. I think a lot of things just happen. Some of them not by accident. I don't think everything happens by accident by no means. So I don't know. You just got to,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big conspiracy guy at all. I don't think everything happens by accident either.
Yeah, and you remember this guy, that Foster guy, I think was his name, up in Washington, D.C., turned up dead in front of a monument up there, and they hollered suicide, these things, and some people getting killed down in Arkansas. It just seemed kind of odd, Moon.
I'm not arguing with that. I just think for you and me, not there, not being able to investigate it, kind of makes it difficult. But the circumstances around it make you think, at the very least, make you think what's going on. I'm just telling you, it does.
I think, well, some of the family should have wanted to know why the man passed away.
Yeah. Well, once again.
Okay, thanks a lot, Moon.
Thanks, appreciate the call. If you had a family member that passed away, you would be the first one jumping up and down. And you see those stories every now and then. Somebody's still pursuing people. I don't think O.J. Simpson is still pursuing the criminals that killed his wife. Do you, Brandon? I don't think that's happening. Well, he went to jail, and I don't think he was pursuing it. He's out of jail, and I still don't think he's pursuing. He said that every day of his life he's going to pursue who killed his wife. Remember that? I don't think that's taking place. I could be wrong on that, Brandon. I don't know what did happen to him since he's gotten out of jail, but I don't think maybe that's what he's doing, Brandon. He's pursuing that. He's investigating so hard that you just can't hardly keep up with him. If you was a betting man, would you bet on that?
I'm going to leave that alone.
We're going to have to take a break. All right. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. House rejected yesterday a college tuition bill to raise colleges, let colleges raise their tuition. Brandon, it got to be 75-16. They're saying universities still have to come to the legislature before they raise taxes. Anyway, I'll bring this up to you when we get back. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Don't forget Captain Norman catching speckled trout and redfish. And all you got to do, folks, is give him a call. And if you'll check him out at A-Spec Charters, Captain Norman will get you taken care of every time, folks. It's speckled trout and redfish out of Hackberry. He knows what he's doing. He can take multiple people, multiple boats, clients. None of them are too big or too small. If you got friends or family members that just never caught a beautiful speckled trout or redfish, folks, you don't know what you're missing. You talk about turn a kid on to fishing. Take them saltwater fishing and let them get on some of those speckled trout and redfish. You will have them hooked, not on drugs, but on fishing. And that would be a great thing because I've never found many people that got in trouble when they fished a lot. Here's the number, 337-884-0656. 337-884-0656. Captain Norman A. Spec Charters. Trust me, the fun is just beginning. I wonder who said this. I'll be screwed tomorrow. Oh, shit. That's funny. I'll get to that later. All righty. That's one of those off the record deals I just got, Brandon. I can't tell you. Stacey Grace wrote an article. If politics is the problem with fixing the fiscal cliff, more politics isn't the solution. And in the article, she does it again, which everybody does. Lawmakers passed temporary tax hikes as an emergency fix in 2016 during Edwards' first months in office as the state was reeling from the shortfall that former Bobby Jindal left behind. They like to say Governor Edwards inherited. Once again, that's not an inheritance. Governor Edwards voted for all those bad budgets, 6 or 8 of them. And so I'm tired of it. Everybody in the press always writes, oh, poor Governor Edwards. He inherited this pathetic budget. That's not an inheritance if you voted for him. Inheritance is when somebody dies and leaves you money. Your house note and your truck note, you signed off on them. Do you realize the Governor, Jindal, never voted for one budget? Do you realize that? The media keeps telling y'all, Bobby Jindal's budget, Bobby Jindal's budget, Bobby Jindal's budget. And I'm not a defender of Bobby Jindal, as you know. I was one of the first ones. I was the first one on it. Bobby Jindal never voted for a budget, ever. The legislature votes budgets. John Alario voted for 8 of 8. Francis DeFee Thompson voted for 8 of 8. Jim Big Lake Fannin voted for 8 of 8, those bad budgets. And Bill Edwards voted for 6 of the 8. But Stephanie Grace and Crisp and Ballard and Tyler Bridges and Greg Hillman, I don't know if he's in Mississippi or Louisiana, Jim Beam, they just like putting it Bobby Jindal's budget. I just want to let you know that Republicans and Democrats alike voted for a lot of those budgets. They moved the budget process forward. How come it was Bobby Jindal for 8 years? He was the problem with the budget. And now in the last 3 years of Bill Edwards, it's the House Republicans that are the problem. You notice that? You notice that little twist? Have you ever seen anybody in the press write that Bill Edwards is the problem for the budget? No. When Jindal was the governor, it was Jindal who was the problem. Now that Bill Edwards is the governor, it's the legislature that's the problem. The Republicans in the House are the problem. You notice that? I noticed it. And they do it every single day. Bill Edwards is innocent. Jay Dorton and John Alario, I mean, these are deans. These are experts. If they're such experts, why has nothing been fixed? Oh, that's the House Republicans. Okay, well, was it the Republicans and Democrats in the House and Senate when Bobby? Well, no, that was Bobby. See how it works? They just tell you who's wrong. Bobby was wrong for 8 years. Now it's the House Republicans that are wrong. I'm just telling you what they do. I mean, look, if somebody thinks I'm wrong, I wish they would come on and show me where I'm wrong on this. I blame Jindal for a lot of things that he did wrong. My big beef with him was using all this one-time money. I was crying and hollering. The press never said a word till it was Bobby's last year. Now it's the House Republicans screwing everything up. And Governor Edwards, he's just sitting there, Mr. Innocent Governor, Mr. Honor Code. He got Jay Gardner. I mean, just a man who knows everything. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I just don't y'all like how they spend it? Have you ever noticed how they spend things? And as I said before, the Washington Press has moved to Baton Rouge. Let's go to Charles in Shreveport, open forum Friday. Charles, how you doing, sir?
John, so how you doing?
I'm doing
I'd like
great.
to get your comment on one thing. Kill Radio, Robin and Aaron this morning said the governor has supposedly unveiled a new tax plan of 3.5% on businesses of $1.5 million that pay 3.5%. If not, they pay the corporate tax. They had a guy on there said all it is a ploy to get to us, but they don't think we pay enough money. Could you comment on that?
Well, I hadn't heard that before. I hadn't seen that either.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, I'm not denying it. If Robin and Aaron were doing it, they're probably right on the money. But I have not seen that personally. I hadn't received it, nor have I read about it, so it's kind of hard to comment on it. But trust me, if Bill Edwards is talking about something, it's going to be raising taxes, raising taxes, raising taxes. That's all he knows. So, anyway, got to run. All right, folks, that's the weekend. That's a wrap, except for a little bit of work I got left to do today. Brandon, if work wouldn't be in the way, I'd have a good day.
You going to let work stop you from having a good day?
No, I'm not, Brandon.
Says the man who thinks that Monday is the best day of the work week?
By far. Don't forget by far. Remember, folks, the Moon Griffon Show, most non-partisan, non-political show on the air today. Don't forget that. Have a great weekend.